Kadosh, Erev Tov, Masechet Ketubot Daf Pevav Amud Aleph 86a1. The Gemara is now talking about where, if you remember that Rav Nachman came and they said that there's a family member of Rav Nachman. But what happened was that she sold her ketubah to a man, the tubatana, which means, for example, let's say her ketubah is $20,000. So she comes to a man and the man says, 1 second, let me just say, how old is the husband? Will he die first? How many chances will she get that? It's like selling a life insurance policy. You understand? So he's going to say, you know what? Probably the husband will die, which means that she'll get a ketubah. So, okay, but maybe that might be in 50 years. If it's only in 50 years or 40 years, maybe I'll pay 5,000. But if it's going to be with 5 years, maybe I'll pay 10,000 or 15,000 because I know I'm taking the chance within another 5 years, I'm going to get to 5,000. So therefore, that's what she did. She sold it to Vatana. What happened is that she got divorced, and then afterwards she died. Now she left a daughter. Okay, now when she got divorced, the husband has to pay the ketubah of the wife. So now what happens is that the daughter was the only inheritor of the wife and also of the husband. So the daughter comes and she wants a ketubah. Now comes Rav Nachman and he says nobody could come and give her an etzah, give her a wise thing to do, that she should be mochelet the ketubah of her mother, because if not, then what's going to happen is the guy's going to come and he's going to collect the mother's ketubah. And then she's going to come, this daughter is going to inherit everything. So therefore, she does a fast one. She pulls a fast one. Why? She's going to forgive the ketubah. By forgiving the ketubah, now the father doesn't have to give her nothing. Right? Mitzad the ketubah. And now when the father's dying, she's going to get everything. So Shama, she heard this, and that's what she did. So all of a sudden, says Rav Nachman, well, we made ourselves like the lawyers, right? The ones that what is this? We're like Orchei Dayanim, that we're teaching them what to do. So what exactly did he hold at the beginning? What did he hold at the end? So Mikara Savara, at the beginning he held Misra, which means that since it was a family member, he had to try to help them. But at the end he held he's a very important person. And since he's a very special person, he shouldn't have acted that way also. Which means that even though technically it's a family member, you have to help them out. But he's an Adam Chashuv, he's a very important person, he shouldn't have helped even like that. So Gufar Shmuel comes and he says, if a person's going to come and he's going to sell a shtarchov to his friends, and then he comes and he's mochel the debt, machul, it's going to be machul. And even the yoresh of the malveh could actually be mochel. Not only the malveh himself, the lender, but even his inheritor could forgive the debt. Now, says the Gemara, if he's smart, he should come, he should tell him, you know what? If he's smart, why doesn't he do a trick? He's going to come and he's going to write a shtar. Right? What does that mean? He's going to write a new document, and the guy's going to pull a fast one. What's he going to do? Imagine right now, I come and I lend $100. Yeah, to Mr. A. I come and I sell that debt of $100 for $100 to Mr. B. All of a sudden, I come and I forgive the $100. So now what happens? He loses out, Mr. B, because now he's trying to collect. It was forgiven. That's it. And not only can the person forgive, even his inheritors could forgive also the debt. So now the question is, why don't we always do that then? The guy could come to me and say, you know what, listen, you just sold it. You just made your $100 back. I'll give you even $20, $50. And then what do? You forgive it. By you forgiving it, so now he loses out. But now you gain. You did it. And then you write me a due document, and I give you $50. But now I have to give you $50. I'm not going to pay $100. So I'm actually gaining. So therefore he comes and he says, Amar says, Man de dain dina de garme, mag bime de meshtara me'alia. The one that's going to be judging dina de garme, which means that if you right now you caused a loss to your friend, meaning by me being mochel, by me forgiving his loan, I just caused him to lose out. So mag bime de meshtara me'alia. So therefore I could actually come and get the full value of the shtar. Okay, why? Because I made the guy lose. But the one that's not judging the din of garme is like, it's a little bit different than grama. There's a whole question about what's the difference between grama, which is a cause, and something which is more direct. But then you could only just get the piece of paper and that's it. So Hava Uvda, there was a story. The Kafir Rafram Ravashi, and Rafram went and he caused Ravashi that he was a Dayan, right? He went and he started bringing a whole bunch of proofs, the Agbibe. And he went and he took money as if that he went and he caused damage to the other person. Just like the Korah, which is going to be taken out of the Tzurot, which means when you have a beam, that you're taking it out, right, from different, that you carve out different forms in it, right? So you want to say, listen, you're going to be chayav. So Amar Amima Mishmed Rav Chama says, Amima the name of Rav Chama, Haimandika le ketubati shal balchov. Whatever a person has upon himself that he has to pay back a ketubah of a woman, plus he has to pay back a balchov, a money. He's got money and he's got land. The balchov, you always give to the balchov the money, and the woman you always give her a piece of land. Haiki dine vehaiki dine, because each one is according to their judgment, which means that because the one that he lent money, so he has to pay him back money. The woman, everything is for the ketubah, is for the land, so therefore it's going to be on the land. Now he says, what happens if he only has one piece of land and there's no money whatsoever? And there's only enough a piece of land for one. It's either the ketubah or for the debt. What do you do now? You give it to the balchov, the one that he borrowed money from, but you don't give it to the woman. My time, what's the reasoning? Which means derech ateva is that women want to get married more strongly than men want to get married. Meaning the woman's worst nightmare is that she doesn't get married. A man has much less of that. Obviously, a man wants to get married naturally, but it's much less. The woman is that she needs to get married. More a woman wants, and therefore we're not going to suspect that the fact that she's going to lose a ketubah in such a form, she's not going to get married. And therefore, because of this, we say you give it to the person, the balchov, and you don't give it to the ketubah of the woman. So Amaleh Rav Papa Rav Chama says the Papa to Rav Chama, this for sure you said it. I heard this in the name of Rava. Haiman Damaski Bezuz is somebody that has money lent to him. And he's got land. And now the balchov comes and he asks for it back. Amarle and he says, Zil shkolara, go take from the land. He said, no. Zil zabin at vaiti. No, you can't just throw him off with the land. You sell it. Now you take the money and you pay him back. So Amaleh comes and he says, no, it's not true. I never said that in the name of Rava. So Elmaleh gufa duvda. So Rav Papa comes and he asks him, tell me what was the case exactly. Yeah, what was the case exactly? So Amaleh, he says, the loveh that was brought in front of Rava was putting his money in the hands of a goy. Ki'ilu, he had money to pay back. But he comes and he starts saying, no, they're not his money. Its money belongs to this guy, Joe Shmo. So because of that, Ki'ilu, you can't take the money. So says the Gemara, since the fact that he lied and he didn't want to pay back money, and he said, no, it's not his, so he did something which was not properly, so therefore the Dayanim were machminim on him, and they told him, you don't want to pay back. No problem. Take the land, sell it, and then pay back. You acted improperly, we act with you improperly. That's the way it works. So Amaleh Rav Kana Rav Papa. So says Rav Kana to Rav Papa, according to Yudamarta, he said, Priya Balchov mitzvah, that when you come and you pay back a chov, it's a mitzvah to pay back a debt. Amar, what happens if the Love comes and he says, Lo nichali, I don't want to do a mitzvah. If you hold that it's a mitzvah to pay back a debt, and the guy goes, I don't want to do a mitzvah. So what's halacha? Amaleh, he says, we already learned in the Mishnah, the Braita. The Braita says, Medvunimunim, the mitzvah lo ta'aseh. Meaning, when do we say that a person does not get lashes on an avera more than 40 lashes? It's only going to be in a case where it's a mitzvah lo ta'aseh, a negative commandment. But in a mitzvah to say a positive commandment, kegon sheomrim lo aseh sukkah ve'noseh. For example, they tell him, do a sukkah. He doesn't want to do a sukkah. Take a lulav. I don't want to take a lulav. Ve'noseh. What's going to be the halacha? The Pevav Bet 86b. Makino tot shetetze nafsho. You give him lashes until he dies. Meaning, when do we have the concept of 40 lashes, which is really 39? In a negative commandment. But in a positive commandment, you give him the beating until he actually does it. Until he dies, or he's going to do the mitzvah. So, imagine a person gives a get to his wife and he says, this is for you to get divorced, but it's only going to be for after 30 days. And then she went and she left it in the side of the Reshut Harabim. What's the halacha? Is the Girushin Chal with a get, which is on the side of the Reshut Harabim? Or does it have to be in her possession at the end of the 30 days in order that it should be divorced. So Elmaleh comes in the end and says, she's not divorced. Just like Rav and Shmuel. The Rav Shmuel and Rav both said, that it has to be that at the time of the father's death, it's not considered the Reshut Rabim. So it comes out, according to Rav and Shmuel, anything which is in the Reshut Rabim is not in the Reshut of the person. So it's not going to be Hechal. So the sides of the Reshut Rabim, like the extra sides, like the sidewalk and all this, that's considered Reshut Rabim. So therefore she's not going to be divorced. So as the Gemara, Adrab, the opposite. Megureshet, she should be divorced from Rav Nachman. The Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rav Abua, says Rav Nachman, if somebody comes and he tells his friend, pull this ox, right? Pull this cow, and it's not going to be acquired to you until after 30 days. Kana, he's going to be koneh. Yeah? After the 30 days. And even if it's going to be in a swamp. So ask the Gemara, my level, we're not talking about that the gam is like also tzidei Reshut Rabim, which means that you see from here that even if it's going to be tzidei Reshut Rabim, on the sides of Reshut Rabim, it's in a swamp. You still acquire it. And says the Gemara, no. Agam lechud tzidei Reshut Rabim lechud. Agam is one thing, and the sides of Reshut Rabim is another thing. Ikadamni, if you want, you could also answer another thing. Elmaleh, he says, Megureshet, she should be divorced because of Nachman. It's tzidei Reshut Rabim kagam dami. So says the Gemara, Adrab, the opposite. And a Megureshet from Rav Shmuel. So basically, according to this version, we flipped it. According to the first version, we said that she was not divorced because of Rav Shmuel, and then we said the opposite, she should be divorced because of Nachman. Now we flip it, and we say no, that she should be divorced because of Nachman, and then we're going to flip it and say the opposite, she shouldn't be divorced because of Rav Shmuel. My love, we're not talking about Reshut Rabim, which is tzidei Reshut Rabim. Answers the Gemara, no. Reshut Rabim lechud, tzidei Reshut Rabim lechud. That each one is different. It's two different dinim. One din is the Reshut Rabim, and one din is the Reshut, the tzidei Reshut Rabim, which is the sides of the Reshut Rabim. Says the Mishnah in the middle of Pevav Umbet. המושיב את אשתו חנוונית, או שמינה פוטרופויה, הרי זה משביעה כל זמן שירצה. If a person comes and he puts his wife to be a חנוונית, which means she's the storekeeper, to sell, whether it's wine, fruits, or he put her as a potropos on her properties, he could make her swear that she didn't take anything for herself all the time. Rabbi Eliezer says, אפילו על פלחה ועליסתה, even on what she's sewing, and even on her dough, she could make her swear. So we're going to ask the following question. Rabbi Eliezer, according to Rabbi Eliezer, that he could make her swear even on that which she's sewing and the isa and the dough. Is it through gilgul shavua or is it lechatchila, which means like this? Gilgul shavua means on this in itself you're not chayav shavua, but when I roll it over on something else, if you're already going to swear on one thing, I'm going to be megalgel. I'm going to roll it over to this as well. That's called gilgul. Right? Lechatchila kama means no. Even lechatchila, you could come and you could say, swear that what you were using for your needles or this and that, or what you're using for your dough, is it lechatchila or is it no? If you're already swearing for that, so swear for this as well. So alidei gilgul my nafkamina. He says, what's the difference if it's going to be alidei gilgul? The amra lei tells him, if you're going to be so meticulous about what I use, lo matzina dadu badach. I can't live with you. If she could say, listen, you know what? You're going to come and you're going to be on the nitty bitties. I can't even live with you. So Tashema, we're going to try to find out. So then what was the question then? Was it through Gilgul or even the Chatzila that he can make her swear? Okay, so says the Gemara, right? What happens if a man did not exempt his wife from an neder shua? He put her as the storekeeper or as a potopus. He could make her swear whenever he wants. But if he did not put her as a storekeeper, he did not put her as a potopos, as the one in charge of his properties, he cannot make her swear. Eliezer says, no, even though he didn't put her as a chavanit or potopria, he can make her swear whenever he wants. Because a woman is always in a potopos, at least once during the lifetime of the husband, whether it's going to be on her needles or on her thing. Amrulo, they said, says, what are you talking about? Nobody's going to live with a snake all the time, which means if the man is going to be so meticulous on every single penny that she's using, right? She went to Publix, now he's going to start checking, did she take out the $10 cash back in order to use it for herself and things like that. If he's going to be so meticulous on everything, she's going to say, I can't live with a snake. So Shema Mina, even lechatchila. So you see from here that this was even lechatchila, according to Rabbi Eliezer, that even lechatchila, you can make her swear even on the dough and on everything. Shema Mina, and that's what we can actually learn from the Braita. The Shitat Rabbi Eliezer was that even lechatchila, he could come in and say, swear that you use this and you didn't start using extra and you didn't put anything away, and so on and so forth. Okay? Next Mishnah. The last Mishnah on the page. Pevamu bet. 86b. Katav la neder u'shua yechel alayich. Imagine a person comes and he tells his wife, right, there's not going to be any neder u'shua on you. So he can't make her swear. But he can make her inheritors or somebody that comes from her possession to swear. Because if at the beginning he went and he said, listen, I'm never going to make you swear, he can't now tell me, make her swear that you didn't take anything extra. No. You just told me. But if he wrote down, but he says nobody, not on you or on your inheritors or anybody comes from you, he can't make them swear. Lo he, not her, not the inheritors, not the people that come into possession. But his inheritors could make her swear, or her Yoshim swear, or anybody that comes from, because it was only him that needed the never, not his inheritors. But if he went and he said that he's not going to have any nedarim, not on him, not on his inheritors, not on her, and not on her inheritors, not on her, so then he cannot make her swear, not him, not his inheritors, not anybody that comes from him, not her inheritors, or anybody that comes in her possession. Halcha mikever bala lebet avia. Imagine right now, right? What happened was the husband passes away, and immediately the second husband passes away. She goes from the kever of the husband straight to her father's house, or she went back to the father-in-law's house. But she wasn't a putubos. They cannot make her swear. But if she did become a putubos, they can make her swear. And they cannot make her swear on that which passed in the past. Shavua mayavite. Who's talking about shavua? Right. That's what the Gemara is going to ask, because we just said that the husband is exempting his wife from a shavua. What are we talking about exactly? So then the Gemara is going to continue tomorrow explaining, right, to review the name of Rav, that we're talking about different things that happened during the lifetime. Have a wonderful